is 5 o'clock. Oh, Lord, have mercy, I can't now. Last time I was this happy is when I found out Bo Cephas was going to be back on Monday Night Football. Oh, Lord, hey, Bowser Nation. Lord, heading down 85 South. It's a mess. People cut you off. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I know I did a little show earlier today, and it means the world to me that you're there. Hey, man, Matt. Good to see you, buddy. Lord be with you. Good to see you. Everybody join me on this drive home. I'm going to try not to watch y'all like, look down at my screen as I'm driving. Get over! This is America. I pay taxes. Get over. Sorry. Driving home. Just want to talk college football. First of all, is there anything any better than college football? There ain't. There ain't nothing better than college football in the entire world. I'm going to tell you right now, there's something about getting ready for college football. Now, of course, in the week before September, we always have those dumb games that go on. None of us really care about those games. Those games are very boring. Those games are annoying. But you know what I find? I am so hungry and thirsty for college football that I'll actually sit and watch that crap. Now, I'll admit, I sat and watched that Rice and Stanford game. That Rice and Stanford game, I watched it when it was over there in Australia. I don't know if you remember it, but that game was actually, when Rice took over the football, they actually could not get the snap off. Do you remember they had like 2 false starts in a row? God, that was hilarious. I'm sitting there going, now, I know it's Rice, but these are still D1 football players. I mean, it might be a sucky school, but these are D1 football players, and they can't even get the snap off. Let me see. Looking down here if I can. Football game, college football games on my phone. Yes, I do. I catch myself going back and watching. I tell you this, I go back and watch, hey, Lord, yeah. Bunch of people getting on here now. Better watch out, we'll break the internet. We'll break it right now. No, a couple of games, Hey, that's Big Georgia Daddy. Hey, games, old Clemson games that I sit and watch. I don't know about Clemson games because I am a Clemson fan. And, a lot of people watch me because of my Clemson commentary and how right I am, not only on Clemson, but on sports in college football in general. But Clemson football, one of my favorite games to go back and watch from 15 when they played Notre Dame. That was a fun game to watch. That run last year, hey Tiger Nation, how you doing, boy? Lord. Big Georgia Day said I watched Georgia Mississippi State like 50 times. Yeah, I tell you what. Now I know you're a Georgia fan. You're not going to share the same sentiment. But for me, I did feel bad for Fitzgerald because it's like out of nowhere, like Mississippi State's doing pretty good, and it looks like they're going to make some type of run, and then they go and they play at Georgia, and it was awful. Oh, Lord, that one hit coming right up the middle. And Fitzgerald's a big old boy. I mean, we're not talking about some midget. We're not talking about some anemic, bulimic person. No, he's a big old boy, and he got his bell rung. How many times I watched National Talk, broke down film and everything. Hey, I know. I've sat and watched that. Yeah, Fitzgerald was a Georgia fan as a kid, and it was big to him. Yeah, I watched that national championship game several times, but I keep watching that catch by Hunter Renfrow. That's that call, that everything, that throw, the catch, the holding on to it. You could see when he caught on to it, it was like he was saving a child from falling out a window. So y'all bear with me. I ain't gonna be looking down my phone as much. I shouldn't have already have, but no. So I love the Notre Dame game. Love watching that game against Notre Dame. The run ETN had against Louisville this past year, that was outrageous. Outrageous. That was incredible. That's one of the plays I watch a lot. Of course, the hit Trey Lamar put on Blackman from Florida State, and the ball comes loose. That was pretty doggone ridiculous. That was a lot of fun. A couple of non-Clemson games here, and y'all forgive me. I know I want to interact with y'all. I want to talk to you, and I want to do this because once I get home tonight, me and the missus garbage dump out behind the grocery store near our house. I'm gonna let the boys throw some rocks at the homeless people eating out of the dumpster. Teach them good morals. No, I ain't gonna do that, but that would be funny. We gonna go hang out. We're gonna go do something. Glad to see another Georgia fan on here. Hey, Bulldog and Georgia Daddy, y'all gotta understand something. I got a following that is diverse. You want it? Yeah, if one of these big old companies want to do diversity training, and they start with Bobby Dirkens, I can pull us all together. Shoot. We may not be singing Kumbaya, but we'll get down to some good old Hank Williams Jr., big Clemson fan. I missed that. I did not get to see that. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can get that up. Right there. Chat viewing options. Y'all forgive me. Bobby Dirkens, I've been a fan of yours for a while. Watch your videos every time I have my MS treatments. Helps me get through. I just want to say thank you. Let me get back. I'm so sorry. Alpha Wolf. Let me tell you right now, and I mean this with all my heart, if I help you get through your MS treatments, every time I do what I do is worth it. That actually makes old Bobby want to cry a little bit. And I'm praying for you. I hope you get better. I really do. I hope you get better. I'm serious. You're making me tear up. But I'll make you laugh. I'll make you laugh because laughter is truly a medicine. It'll make you feel better. So, to my college, hey to everybody. Patty, I saw you, Patty. I bet when you make cakes at your house, you tell them it's patty cakes. Nah, everybody be praying for Alpha Wolf having them MS treatments. You're going to get better. You're going to get better. Make you happy now. Go back to college football, guys. I do want to tell you that a game that I enjoyed watching I'm going to go down here because I think I got a cop down here, and in the state of South Carolina, act like he had that phone out. Anyway, game I enjoyed watching for college football. I enjoy going back and watching some of the highlights of, God, I went blank. Big George Daddy, you watch Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou's fantastic. Me and Uncle Lou, we have similarities. I'd never heard of Uncle Lou until somebody asked me, and I heard of Uncle last year, and then found him. Never talked to him. But I watch him. He's good at what he does. I like him. Am I going to any games this year? Trying to. I'd like to make it out to a couple of games. I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to go to. I got to figure out ones I want to take the boys to. Because there's a game you want to take the boys to because you can enjoy it. Like Furman, good game to take your kids to. Really pay attention to it. But then there's more competitive games you take your kids to. You don't want to. You just don't want to have to watch children because you're into the game. It's like, Clemson's going to beat Furman. They're going to beat Georgia Southern. You know what? And these other games, that they're going to be looking forward to. But, yeah. It's new for me driving and trying to do this. Y'all forgive me if it ain't as good as I normally am, but I try to bring value to what I do. No, in all seriousness here, I'd love to go to South Carolina game. The money's going to be pretty tight on that one. I'm going to admit that, but I'm going to try to make it out to that South Carolina game, even if I have to sell some hair off of Bobby Dirkens Jr. I will. Carolina game will be a good one to go to. That'd be fun. Be real fun. Getting NC State back down here so we can take every towel they ever thought they had, that'll be fun. I hope Dabo Swinney absolutely blisters State after how they acted before, during, and after the game. I've never seen anything like it. It was a childish nature that they had. I mean, I know you're sitting there going, well, they're trying to get into their heads. By what? Taking towels away? That was one thing. Okay, so that's kind of funny. But what was said after the game? I want to know what's on that side for those investigation. You didn't have to do that. That was childish. It was childish. I don't know. But old games I like to go back and watch. Now, this is a non-Clemson game, so don't y'all get all upset about this, but an old game I like to go back and watch is Notre Dame and Florida State, the game of the century. That's a fun game to go back and watch. You ever go on YouTube and just pull up old games? You just pull up an old game. I pulled up old Clemson games back early 90s. Smoked footage. That's a lot of fun. You go back and you see where you come from. Go back and see where you come from. I'll never forget being at the game where Clemson beat Florida State for the first time since they joined the conference. I was there. I was in what's now the West End Zone, but y'all remember it was just a bunch of stands and like a Jumbotron behind you, like attached to it, or it's been so long. That was a crazy night. I'll never forget. I was standing back there, standing up there, and I was looking at the play when it opened up to where they threw the bomb to Derek Hamilton, and he caught that ball. I was looking right down. I was like, holy crap, he's actually going to complete that pass. And he did. Whitehurst hit him on that long pass, and he had burned. I mean, you got to think Florida State was number 3 at that time, and they had not lost a game that year. Definitely a chance for a national championship. And you had Florida State fans going, well, Bobby threw the game there just so his boy wouldn't get fired. And I'm going to tell you right now, Bobby Bowden loves his boys, but he's not going to throw a game. He's not going to throw a chance at a national championship. Clemson beat him that night. And now I will tell you this, that particular game, Clemson beat Florida State in 2003. If everybody go back to that time and look at it, Bowden was majorly on the hot seat. He had lost some games that year that he wasn't supposed to lose. And he comes up and beats Florida State. They beat Duke the next week. And after that, they absolutely, one of the worst beatings of South Carolina they've ever done. I think the final was 63-21. I remember that. It was 63-21. And then Clemson went on and played in the Peach Bowl. It was still the Peach Bowl then. And they won the game over Tennessee, who was like a top 6, top 7 team. I think it was number 6 or number 5 in the country. And they had Clausen playing quarterback for them. I think it was Casey Clausen. Good football team. Really good football team. And Clemson beat them. And I say to this day, that ball, 63-17, thanks, Will. You nailed it, buddy. And that was at Columbia. You got to think they went down to Columbia and did that. They didn't do that in Death Valley. They did that down there at Williams-Brice. Yeah, I tell you, that was a great game. That was a great game. But it did I'm telling you, that one season right there bought Tommy Bowden probably another 5 years at Clemson. Wholeheartedly believe that. It bought him another 5 years at Clemson. And we got a little commentary going on here. I saw Georgia Tech come up. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, Georgia Tech is a hard place to recruit to. And I know we got Georgia fans on here, and you're going to have a field day with Georgia Tech, just like I do with South Carolina. So I understand. But I'm going to talk from just a football stance. Georgia Tech will not compete with the offense that they're running. They will not compete with the offense they're running. I'm not telling you they're not going to win. I mean, you go call up Tennessee last year. Georgia Tech had 700 yards rushing on them. I'm not going to tell you they're not going to win. But Georgia Tech, between their styles, could you run that offense and actually win a championship with it if you have the right athletes? I know y'all are going to think I'm wrong. It's just like when this spread formation come out. Everybody said you can't run spread formation and win a national championship. But we've seen what that's. I just seen this right now. I feel like Georgia Tech gave up on football. You know, I think they have. I really do. I think they have. Because you think about this, and I mean, I know you're a Georgia fan, but just work with me here. Georgia Tech's academic standards mixed with also they don't offer a lot of programs. So like Georgia's a hard school to get into. Georgia Tech's a hard school to get into. But Georgia Tech does not offer a bunch of programs. It was a miracle from God that Calvin Johnson was an engineer. I mean, seriously, he studied to be an engineer. But so between the academic standards and between them not being able to bring in the athletes because of the academic standards, Georgia Tech, they'll win games here and there. Okay? They're going to win games here and there. But they are not going to compete because of those. One leads to the other. Georgia Tech is ACC's Vandy. And I'm in one of these guys too. If you're coaching, you do have going to win. Is it going to win? Now, Paul Johnson makes more money than all of us, unless you're some millionaire that's on here. Yeah, Paul Johnson could look at you and I and say, well, I make more money than you. Well, that's true. That's true. But we're not paid to win football games. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. We're not paid to win football games. We are, you do what you do, I do what I do. And at the end of the day, I can tell you a story right now that is absolutely true. It was a basketball coach, college basketball coach, and I know this from the inside. His person had won championships within a conference, within a college conference, had been doing very, very well. Was winning 90% of their games. And as a few years went on, their conference become tougher, and they could not recruit the athletes to run his system, but they were still recruiting athletes that could win. With that said, one of his assistant coaches who knew him for years went to him and said, listen, we're starting to lose games because you have good players, they just can't run your old system. Said, would you do something for me? Would you consider making a tweak to our offense on this side of the ball? And started talking about, laid out a plan to, and this coach replied, I've won conference championships with this particular style, and I'm not changing. And his friend, who was also his assistant coach, pleaded with him, said, please do this. Please do this. please, just trust me. If you've ever trusted me, you've known me for 30 years, trust me. No, I've won championships. And I know this seems like it's long drawn out, maybe even like I'm making it up, but I promise you, if you ever believed in anything I've ever said to you, it's the truth. But he ended up, sticking with his guns, ended up losing, in fact, the seasons that he retired out of, he had a very bad record. I mean, his last few years, it wasn't just like a 500 season. It was like lost. Here's the point in me saying all of that, okay? Just roll with me here, okay? Is that the truth is, coaches have to remember that they are paid to win. And though they bring in their style, after a while you step back and say, I have to reinvent myself or I'm not going to win. And I think that's where Georgia Tech's at. I think Georgia Tech should probably, even Paul Johnson said it this week, and it was like a slap at the school. He said we're very proud of our academic standards. And I believe that was actually a slap at the school from him. We're very proud of our academic standards. Also, it's kind of easy to go play there, go coach there, because you can always turn around and say, well, hey, you don't offer parks and rec and sociology like everybody else does. But you notice every other football player, when they pull up their declared major, it's, parks and recreation and stuff like that. So, wicker chair weaving, But, well, listen, my phone is starting to go. They're a good football team. Ryan Finley can play. The good thing for Clemson is they have to coach. NC State has to come up and play at Clemson. Next, Boston College. You do have to watch for Boston College. There's obvious games you got to play. FSU fell apart last year, but they still got a lot of good athletes, so you got to pay attention to them. So, listen, y'all, I'm going home to my babies. My phone's about to die, but y'all keep on fighting a good fight. Let me know who you want me to do a preview of next time. But y'all be good, stay safe. Don't get incarcerated, because remember, judge ain't going to be in until Monday morning. Y'all be good. Bobby Dirkens.